It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your feel-good breakfast show. Welcome back to it. Now, we know that the focus on addressing the scourge of violence against women and children in South Africa has been at the forefront of national discussion. We're all talking about it as it has sparked conversation around various aspects and phenomena that contribute towards the greater problem. We've got a big problem. Now, Parliament has set urgently to formulate and implement counteractive and preventative measures, but it is important to educate ourselves on seeing the signs that could lead to femicide.
So today, we're asking, how can we identify signs of abuse and intimate partner violence? And so this morning, Dr. Eve is in the building to help us discuss this very important topic, and we'd love to hear from you as well. So get your questions and your comments in, as well as calling us on the line 021 110 552. One more time, 021 110 552. And of course, you can send those comments through to our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. Would love to engage with you. This is a very, very important discussion for us to be having. Dr. Eve, great to have you back. Happy Monday to you.
Nice to be back with you. Gentlemen, looking spiffing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
you, Dr. Eve.
You.
Now, we know that South Africa has really one of the highest incidences of violence against women, domestic violence in the world.
Yes.
What do the statistics look like in our country?
Not pretty at all. This is something that we're not really proud of as South Africans, that we've got the highest incidence of HIV/AIDS and gender-based violence, and the two go together, they intersect, because the more gender-based violence you have, the higher incidence of HIV. Higher incidence of HIV, the more you have gender-based violence as well. So we're not happy with the statistics. So what does it show is that every 4 hours a woman in this country is murdered. 2 out of those women are murdered by an intimate partner, and we'll look at what is an intimate partner, what is femicide really. And we have got 5 times more femicide in this country than anywhere else in the globe. So we have got a country where there is a war on women.
Yeah.
And this is an epidemic that needs to be taken incredibly seriously.
And just one incidence of that is already... It shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
One incident is one too many.
For sure.
In a situation where there is abuse by an intimate partner against a woman, what are the chances that children that are also involved in the family are also being abused?
You know, Kat, they're being abused by witnessing. So if you have a look at who is the abuser, and it's quite a contentious issue, who is the abuser, and today we do have some more information of who the abuser really is. People who abuse, men who abuse, have been witnessing either violence in their home or violence towards themselves. So when you ask what is the incidence towards children, children are being violated. Their entire family structure has been violated when they witness their mother or the female in the household being beaten up or being abused in some way by the father or by the male figure in that household. So if the children are abused themselves, that's like a different discussion. We're talking here around women. Children are deeply traumatized. And these male children grow up, and because of the witnessing of violence of their mothers, they themselves are much more at risk of becoming violent. So that's one of the risk factors for men who are violent, if they have been either witnessed to or themselves have been survivors of violence in their own homes.
You mentioned being beaten up, but what are some of the other forms of violence that can take place in a domestic setting?
Right. So we can talk about verbal, emotional, physical, sexual, financial violence that occurs. What I do want us to talk about is something called a danger assessment. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, in a little more detail. Where we're really going to ask viewers to take notes. And I'm talking to the women today who are watching us, because 1 out of 4 of you either have been violated or will be violated in your lifetime. I mean, can you believe that women in our country are more at risk of being killed than getting breast cancer? And we've got one, very high incidence of breast cancer. Coming up in October, we're going to be talking about breast cancer, of course, in this country. So I'm talking to women, and I really want you to take notes to see if you can tick off the boxes on what's called a danger assessment that has been put together by an American sociologist.
Well, we'll certainly take a look at that very shortly, and we would really, really love for you to be engaged in this conversation with us in asking those very deeply important questions, how you can identify the signs of abuse or intimate partner violence. Please do contribute to our conversation on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. You can also give us a call, 021 110 552. And we would love to have a chat with you, with Dr. Eve over here, as we explore this very important subject matter.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're live, large and in charge on this Monday morning. And today we're using our relationships chat as an opportunity to have a very vital discussion about how to identify the signs of abuse and what constitutes intimate partner violence in a relationship. And we'd love to hear from you. Your questions and your comments are very welcome. You can give us a call on 021 110 552, or you can comment on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. Dr. Eve is in the house.
Dr. Eve, the conversation continues. So much interest on social media as well. Thank you so much for that, everyone. Now, we know that the rate of femicide in South Africa is reported to be 5 times the global average.
Yes.
How do we define femicide?
So when you are in a relationship with somebody, and this is quite a unique situation, because this is a person who will absolutely overwhelm you very quickly with so much attention and so much adoration and so much love. And things happen quick, quick, quick. Next minute they're moving into your house, you're living together, you're pregnant, and you find out this person is pretty narcissistic. And then you find out that this person is actually controlling you, and you find out that this person is using what we call coercive control, and you begin to feel like you're a hostage in your own home. And then we call it domestic terrorism, because you can't get out of your home. So that becomes a very intimate situation with somebody who says they love you, they love you. And then you can't understand why they treat you that way, and why they hurt you, and why they are so nasty to you, or they start hurting you physically, or they start hurting your children, or threaten to hurt your children. These are some of the risk factors, of course. Then the person finally kills you. And that's femicide. So femicide is when it's an intimate partner, somebody, may not be married to them, but somebody you're in a relationship with, your boyfriend, your partner, who you would define as being significant, your lover, and they're the ones who love you the most and then end up killing you.
Yeah.
And one of the major signs, and I do want to warn the women who are watching us today, that when you get to the point where he is strangling you, that is the last sign before he murders you. Strangulation has been proven to be the last sign before murder.
You mentioned a very important couple of points here that I just want to go back on a little bit.
Yeah.
When you start seeing those early signs, and we'll talk about
Yes.
the danger assessment that we'll do
Yes.
right now. But from a psychological point of view, when women in relationships, or maybe with an intimate partner in a living environment, start identifying some of these points, what should be the course of action right then and there? What's the course of action?
I'm going to tell you what is, because this is based on a book by a woman called Rachel Louise Snyder. She's written an incredible book. She's a journalist. It's called No Visible Bruises, No Visible Scars.
Yeah.
An amazing book, an amazing journalist. She's already won some awards for it. And she says that what women do, what women should be doing, is just surviving. That we've got to stop saying to women, why don't you leave him? Because women go through a process of every day trying to leave. And how they try and leave is just by surviving. Just surviving. Because every day they can be killed.
Yeah.
They or their children can be killed. Go ahead.
The number of women who try to leave and still get killed for trying to leave, or still get killed for thinking of leaving.
And in fact, they're at higher risk when they do leave. That's why they come back. And when they do leave, that's when they get murdered, or they find a new partner.
Yeah.
That's their highest risk of then being murdered by the person that they've just left.
Okay, so we're going to come back to this conversation because I do want to try and find a positive point of action at this point of intersection. How to either exit safely
Right.
or surround yourself with the right kind of
Right.
people that can offer you the support in order to facilitate that exit process. And then we'll also take a look at the danger points that you said
Sure.
we need to take a look at, highlight, check mark, and once you see those, that's when you then employ that kind of action. So we keep our lines open, 021 110 552. Give us a call. Also, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. That's our Facebook page. Please comment and send your questions through for Dr. Eve.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, live on SABC3. We're having a very important conversation this morning as part of our relationship chat. It's Monday. We take an opportunity to have a vital discussion on how to identify signs of abuse and what constitutes intimate partner violence in a relationship. Now, we'd like to hear your comments. We're chatting to our relationship expert, Dr. Eve. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Eve, for joining us this morning. So one of the great cries across the country right now is how we can address this crisis of femicide in an intimate partner setting. How do we address it?
Yeah. So let me give you the danger signs first, and then I'm going to give you some ideas of how do we actually address it. So for women who are living with a partner, with a male, or has an ex-lover who has some of the risk factors, if he is using drugs, if there are guns around, there should not be guns in the house, take them all to the police station. If he has threatened to hurt your children, if he has threatened suicide, if you have laid any kind of charge against him, a protection order, you stand a bigger chance of being hurt, which is why so many women withdraw. They retract those protection orders, Tubby, because they know that once they get home, they're going to be in greater danger. Remember, for women, you just need to survive. And I know that you are surviving. That's why you're not leaving. So there is no judgment against you for actually still staying. Do you know how often women leave before they really leave? 7 times on average before they finally leave.
Until it actually finally happens.
Or else they die. Or else they're murdered.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to talk about how do we
address it?
It starts off not with, the marches are important. The protesting, we know it's made a huge difference to our country. And we're so grateful to the many women and men who did take to the streets in our country. But it starts off in your home, microcosmically, having a conversation like this. If you're watching us, to be able to raise that issue in your family today, tonight, and to talk to any kind of toxic masculinity that you feel is happening in your household. If you find that your son is talking badly to your daughter, you call it. If you find that there is any kind of stereotyping that's happening, like you're a sissy or you're just a muffy because you're not masculine enough, you want to talk to it and say that is not acceptable. If we find that there are gender roles, the girls go into the kitchen and the girls do the cooking and the boys, who just kind of watch rugby and drink beer, you don't allow that in your household.
It starts at home.
There. It starts at locker room conversation between men who are putting women down. When you see your friends insulting their girlfriend, you talk to it.
Yeah. We can't keep quiet. Clearly, we all have a collective responsibility and a role to play in our immediate sort of environments. As neighbors, as family members, as partners, how do we step in? How can we help? How can people help if they're not necessarily in the intimate relationship themselves?
So you must remember that the perpetrator is going to make sure that he isolates this woman. So she is likely not to tell her mother, her sister, her friends. I would really encourage women to tell somebody, even if it's a professional or a helpline, let somebody know that you've got the support somewhere. And of course, we want you to have some kind of financial savings. Now, when women leave, they have prepared sometimes for years, Tubby, before they actually leave. And I know that you women are doing that. You're going through a process. It's not just, I get up and I go. That may not be happening. You've set aside money. You've got some education going. You've got some planning in place. You've got to keep doing that so that when the day comes, when you feel, today's the day, I'm going to do it, there is some support
Yeah,
that is
you've got
over there
a
for
structure.
you. You've got a structure.
Dr. Eve, it's such a big conversation and we
Yeah.
can never have enough time to just touch
Yeah.
on it entirely. But thank you so much once again for joining us
Yes.
today, and hopefully you've inspired so many women out there who are watching to take the power that's in their hands and take control and take charge. There is always help available out there. In fact, if you are watching this right now and you are involved in a relationship that is potentially dangerous and risky, there is help out there. Get in touch with the Stop Gender Violence movement. They are there to take your calls. 0800 150 150. That's 0800 150 150. And really just take it in your hands to stop violence against women and children. And for the men out there, this is a strong message that's being sent out. We can fight this absolutely
It's up to men.
ridiculous. It's up to men. It's absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous state of our country.